Hey fourth graders, we're going to do a quick review on using this kind of clock, which is called an analog clock. And we're going to recap our hands and the minutes and how I can read this type of clock. So a couple of reminders. This shorthand, and on here it's blue, is the hour hand. So the shorthand points to what hour it is, which is written on this side of the colon. Okay. The longer red hand is the minute hand, and I like to remember that it's the minute hand because it needs to be longer to reach all of these smaller tick marks that represent every minute. In 1 hour, we have 60 minutes. When we have our hand up at the top, we call it o'clock, and it's really been 60 minutes. Now, as my minute hand moves around the clock, you'll notice that my hour hand is also moving. So now I'm at a new time. And I've moved in my minute hand is on the 1, but really that represents 5 minutes. Every large number on our clock represents 5 minutes. And if I were to count every tick mark in between, I have 1, 2, 3, can't see that 4, and it's on the 5 minutes. So I would read this as 5:05, and that's what time it is. Now as I continue to move my minute hand, my hour hand moves along with it. By the time I get here, I'm at about 5:15. Now it's important for us to remember that sometimes it's the time and our arrow is pointing in between. It's not at a 5-minute increment, and that's when those little tick marks come in handy. So I know this larger at the 3 was 15, here's 16, and it's hard to see, but right underneath is my next tick mark for 17, which is where it is. So I would still say it is 5:17. Now one thing I want to remind you of is by the time my minute hand creeps all the way around and it's past 5:30, which is half an hour, if it comes close up here, look how close my hour hand is to 6 o'clock. Okay, now the time is not 6:50, but look how close I am to the new hour, which would be 6 o'clock. So I have to pay attention that I'm at 50, and so I'm very close to 6, but the hour is still 5:50. Then as I get all the way up to the new hour, and I would now say it is 6 o'clock. So I have to remember and be careful of a couple of things. The large digits all the way around the clock represent 5 minutes. My hour hand is short and my minute hand is long to reach those little tick marks that count each minute for me. As my minute hand moves, so does my hour hand, getting closer and closer to that next hour as I approach and get closer. So today on Seesaw, you are going to look at a sheet like this, and you're going to see some clocks. And so we're going to practice just a couple where you can look at a clock and recognize what time it is. So let's look at this one right here. So I see that this is my hour hand because it's shorter, so this is my hour. And here's my minute hand. It is longer. It's helping me point to those little tick marks. So I know that I need a colon to separate, and I have the hour first and then the minute. And so I can tell it's not right at 12, but it's not to 1 yet. So the hour is still 12 o'clock. And now I know I can count by 5s, 5, 10, 15, 20, 25, 30. But remember, halfway through is 30. 35, at the 8 would be 40, but I'm not at the 8. Here's 35, 36, 37, 38 minutes. So this time is 12:38. Now we're going to do this last one, and then you're going to work on your own. Again, here's my hour hand, it's short. Here's my minute hand all the way to those tick marks. So I know my hour will come first, and I need to figure that out. It's awfully close to 10 o'clock. That hour looks like it's at 10, but remember, my minute isn't there yet. So that means that my hour is still in the 9 o'clock hour. If this is o'clock and I go backwards to 55, because remember this is 60 minutes, So 11 is 55, 56, 57. It is 9:57. So you're going to have 4 clocks on Seesaw that you need to hop to and tell us what time it is. Good luck.